So, welcome to another episode of Sip of Tea with the executive assistant. I am the co founder and CEO, Tiffany Banks. Today, I have a treat for you. And if you are watching this, it is actually Thanksgiving Day. So, happy Thanksgiving to you. And in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I have brought Dr. Aparagita Jeedigunta on today. And when I tell you guys you are in for such a treat, Dr. AJ was just on the cover of Brains Magazine. She was nominated as one of the top 20 coaches in Detroit. She is a diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant and coach. And I am going to let her introduce herself, I promise. But you guys are in for a treat. So, without further ado, I give you Dr. Aparagita Jeedigunta. Take it away, AJ.
Hi.
Hi. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
I mean, it's interesting, right? Because I hear other people introduce me, and in my head, I'm going, I'm just a little Indian American woman on a mission, and that's what I'm focused on. I have a little company called AJ Rao. It's the amalgamation of my name and my spouse's name, and it really the motto there is about. At AJ Rao, we really, everybody that's a part of it at any point is all about making the invisible visible for better equity and belongingness. Everybody that's a part of this, we know that this is the world we want to give to our kids. We're not there yet, and they deserve better. And it's our responsibility. So we're just going to do what we can.
All right, so AJ is going to pull at our heartstrings today, people, because I almost dropped a tear. That was absolutely beautiful, absolutely amazing, and it is absolutely inspiring to hear you describe your company in that way. I want to go ahead and dive in and unpack just a few of the things you do, because I do know that you do quite a bit. And I absolutely love that you use this background because it tells me exactly where to go. So, why don't we start off with culturally competent conversations? Why don't we first explain what that's about?
So that's a little summit that I created with the pipe dream of it turning into the next, TED Talks for equity and inclusion. I mean, we have tech hackathons, right? Why not diversity, equity, and inclusion hackathons, where we really just hack into people's behaviors and their attitudes and sort of, have so much compelling content that they can't ignore it.
Wow.
So that's where it came out of. And it was a pipe dream. And really it was addressing the needs that I saw in the space, my needs that I saw in the space, which was to be able to tell CEOs that a pandemic, a social justice movement for equity and inclusion, Black Lives Matter, all of these are exactly the right times to focus on your employees and to help them belong, to take care of them, to empower them, to energize them, and to allow them to thrive.
Yeah. So it's C3EB, right? Okay, the butterfly. Yes. Tell us about the butterfly in the C3EB.
Yeah, that so P, my spouse, my husband, actually, he's a genius when it comes to turning words into visuals. So my first book was called Transform Yourself, Everything You Need to Know to Find the Right Coach for You.
So wait a minute. So DEI consultant, one-on-one coach, author? Wow. What don't you do, AJ?
I don't clean the house.
I love it. challenging sexist norms.
I don't. I really don't.
So when is your next meeting of the C3EB Summit?
It's on November 19th and 20th. So it's coming up next, actually, by the time this airs, it will have been done. So the one after that is in celebration of Black History Month.
Nice.
And so it's going to be in February.
Very nice. Okay, so you will be able to register for that, people, and you will want to. The one, by the time this airs, the one that will have passed, can guarantee it will be pretty amazing. Are you allowed to release the names of some of the speakers that are going to be a part of that, or?
Oh yeah.
So why don't you give us a little taste?
It's next week, so I sure hope so. No, and I just want to also point out that at any time before August, if anyone wants to get the access pass, they actually get access to a whole year's worth of content. So it's not just that individual one. For the access pass, you get nearly 100 hours of content, learning, like educational content on diversity, equity, inclusion, belongingness, your employer's responsibility, your personal power, all of it.
So with the date of this airing being Thanksgiving and the summit having passed last week, are people able to still go sign up for the past content as well?
Yeah. So when so by the time this airs, if you sign up for the All Access Pass, you'll get access to the August one, the November one, and the February and the May one.
Nice. Yeah. So go get your All Access Pass for C3EB. You can pause it. We'll be here when you get back. So can you tell us big names? Oh, well, tell us about some of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have, for instance, Orinexus, who actually is one of our partners too, which is amazing because they are coming out with a voice recognizable and voice censored AI, artificial intelligence, that actually promotes empathy virtually.
Come again, say what? That sounds too cool.
Right? So here is a company that decided to combine the tech aspect of it and the humanity aspect to use tech to assist in building more equity and inclusion in the bonds.
That's
and
amazing.
They did it in such a cool way. So you're going to get to see their process and everything at the November summit. In addition to that, we have Zanzibar Vermilio, who was one of our keynote speakers from the inaugural, coming back to talk about, really elevating humanity to that higher level of consciousness, to the higher level of responsibility, to the higher level of prosperity, all of it. We have Ruthie Bowles, who is, one of my favorite people in the world, one of my dear friends, an Army veteran, somebody who has openly talked about her previous invisible illnesses and injuries, talking about what it takes to be how do you market authority for your personal brand? Whatever that is, right? And then we have a couple of people who are experts in neurodiversity, in the autism spectrum, in the deaf and hard of hearing community spectrum, from a lived experience as well as from the ADA compliance aspect of it. We have Dr. Sharice J. Nelson, who is going to give us an entire framework on anti-racism practices. We have Dr. Dia Mooney, who's an industrial and organizational psychologist who specializes in recruitment and onboarding for diversity. And these are just some of the names I'm thinking of. We also have Dr. David Glover, who is a PsyD, and he specifically talks about destigmatizing mental health in LGBTQ communities, in religious communities, and Black communities, and really bringing about that idea of normalizing mental health support.
Is Dr. Glover the one with the tattoos?
No, huh?
Nope, that might be Dr. Diem.
Dr. Diem is industrial organizational psychologist. Dr. Glover is the one that's going to be talking about the mental health aspect of it. Dr. Diem talks about the corporate aspect of it. Yeah. So, I mean, and then we have another traumatic brain injury survivor who owns her
Another?
own, yeah, who owns her own business, who is a Middle Eastern hijabi woman who's still is proud of her identity and everything. She's an registered nurse and a traumatic brain injury survivor who is the mother of 2 special needs kids.
Wow. Yeah, I need to see hers for sure because my son is in the process of being
Yeah.
tested for autism and dyslexia.
Yeah.
It is definitely a challenging time in my life, but this sounds like somewhere I'm going to make sure that I be at. So, if you guys are looking for me on the 19th and 20th, I'm probably at the C3EB Summit,
So
which is virtual this year.
It is. It's always, I promise you this. The C3EB Summit is always going to be virtual. Even if it's in person, it's going to be virtually streamed. And I promise the live streams of it are always going to be free because I mean, even the theme of the November Summit is improving the accessibility of diversity, equity, and inclusion in our pipelines. So it is all about accessibility. It is all about getting this information to everybody so that we can all speak the same language and understand the same things when we walk this walk. And I don't mean that about people who have been historically marginalized. We've already walked the walk. It's the rest that got to catch up. So we got to be a little slow.
Oh my gosh. So if you're watching this on Thanksgiving Day and you're thinking about what you need to do next over these next few days, go get your all access pass for the C3E Summit. Educate yourself, educate your family, educate the people that you love, the people that you don't like. Educate everybody because the information is going to be there. Thanks to Dr. AJ Jeedigunta. Let's move on to the right of you. Is it your right? The INNERFIRE? Yeah. Let's move on to
so
INNERFIRE.
I don't know. I had such a hard time with this earlier today. I was on a whole presentation and I was like, oh my gosh, just figure it out. I can't.
It's okay. Sometimes I try to go, my logo, my quote over here and she's over there. I love it. I think there's a way you can mirror it, but then everything shows up backwards. So you're pointing in the right place, but it's going the wrong way. So, so let's talk INNERFIRE. I actually did text INNERFIRE to 411321. I thoroughly enjoyed the guide that I received, but I would love for you to tell everybody what it is.
I mean, in a nutshell, it's how I dug myself out of my own pits of hell.
That is a hell of a nutshell.
Except as I dug myself out of it, I started realizing, oh crap, I'm not the only person in this pit of hell.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of people here like me. Maybe this will work too.
Yeah.
So I just started kind of like offering it to people. And it kept working and it kept working and kept working. And then people kept asking me for some kind of thing in writing so they can like keep track of it. And I was like, I just had like a whole 2-hour conversation with you, dude. What more do you want? Like but eventually that got to so many people that I was like, whatever. Okay, fine.
Just so you guys know, she means nothing when she says whatever. It's her favorite phrase. It's just whatever. Whatever. Just make it happen. Whatever.
Yeah. But then, I had to really reframe it. And this is interesting for me because I'm the one who actually helps other people do this. But I had to reframe myself like, okay, AJ, they're not causing you a problem. They're giving you an opportunity for a mass solution. So why don't you just shut the hell up and spend the hour to do it?
And that's an awesome example about how sometimes we as business owners, we're excellent at giving advice, not so great at taking it. I am a firm believer in that. I can shape someone else's social media like nobody's business. And
Yep.
I post on mine like once every 2 weeks. It's like consistency, consistency. This is what you would tell your customer, your client. So definitely understand where you're coming from on that one.
Yeah.
So you created this handy, awesome little guide for us. And all we have to do is text INNERFIRE to 411321. Or if you're an international customer or a Sprint customer, you text 1-909-741-1321. That is code phrase INNERFIRE,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And so it really is how I sort of meant that dramatically, but it really, as a 2-time traumatic brain injury survivor, as somebody who had been told they were unemployable, as somebody who had been told that even with 15 years of experience, they had no viable experience, that they had no transferable skills, somebody who was conditioned culturally to never promote themselves, to never be confident, to never stand in my truth, to stand in my power, really. Instead, I was supposed to give away my power because I'm a woman and blah, blah, blah. So reclaiming that really was a whole journey.
Mm.
And because of the traumatic brain injury, because of all of that, it really was a trial and error. It was a painful trial and error. So I'm just going to say, for anybody that wants to go on this journey on this guide, if you're expecting easy, pain-free, like Band-Aid solutions, don't get this guide. I'm going to be straight up with you.
No.
This
Don't get
is,
the guide and don't talk to Dr. AJ
yeah,
because
no,
that's
no,
not
no.
what she's here for.
No, this is for those who actually want to walk the journey and be authentic and really, really reclaim their inner power, and they're committed to it. Because, it's like, this, there's a volcano inside of you, and it's just like waiting to erupt. And there's just something getting in its way, and you're not quite sure what that is. This guide will help you figure out exactly what that not quite sure is.
You know, I like to listen to really inappropriate music because you can't be professional all the time. And one of my favorite inappropriate artists is Eminem. And Eminem has a line in the song Love the Way You Lie. And he says, maybe that's what happened when a tornado hits a volcano. And when I read this guide, and I had to schedule time to read it because I have a busy schedule too. I highly suggest that you actually read this guide with an open mind. If that means that you need to meditate prior or be in a quiet place and not be tired, whatever you have to do, download this guide, read it with an open mind. And I promise you, I had chills going up my arms. It was amazing. And by downloading it, you also get access to the upcoming programs that Dr. AJ has, which are going to be some mind blowing programs. Just the education that you can get, everything like that is going to be amazing. So text INNERFIRE to 411321 for international and Sprint callers. It's +1-909-741-1321.
Yeah. I think you made a really good point, Tiffany, and I want to like kind of underscore and reinforce it. Please, please make sure that when you go through this guide, you are very, very mindful of where you're going into this from and what you want out of it.
Absolutely.
Because this could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get what you put in, and you're gonna get what you even unintentionally think about. as you go through this, because, and I'm not trying to be cryptic here. I'm really, really not. You know, it's like one of those things where when when you read this and when the framework makes sense to you, the way it's been laid out, so many things click into place that you can't unsee what you see there.
And she's right. She really is. Not just as the person who wrote it. I read it, and I didn't have to read it, but I read it. And I'm telling you, I noticed so much stuff, even about myself and about the journey that I was on. And I was like, wow, you know, it just brought so much to light. So, let's go on to our next question, because I'm going to get emotional. Let's talk about your services, because that's what people want to know. So when we get ready to talk about your services, the first thing we have to talk about is your target audience, because we all know that in marketing, you don't market to everybody. That's just dumb. You'll fail. And that's coming from the executive assistant. You don't market to everybody. Everybody is not your customer. So who is your ideal client? If you want, you can look into the camera so they know that you're talking to them. Who are you looking for? Who is the ideal person to work with you?
Absolutely. So I'm going to woo you if this is you. I'm really hoping you have that volcano waiting to erupt inside of you, or maybe like some kind of like an inner animal or an inner beast. In my case, it was a werewolf. As cliched as that is, my werewolf doesn't look like the movie Werewolves, but that's another story. You've always known, or for the longest time in your life, you've known that the impact that you're meant to have is not the impact that you're having right now, that your dreams have always been bigger than what you think your reality is right now. I was there. I died in that situation. I was told I was not enough. I was told I was unemployable. And I'm here to tell you that everybody that tells you all of that stuff is full of horse manure. Let's be polite.
It's YouTube, so
yeah, so you're who I want to work with. I just need you to be committed. I need you to be so passionate about finding your own inner power and reclaiming it that I know you're not going to give up, because I'll walk the walk with you and I'll help. I'll support in every way, because I had to do it without any support, through trial and error. And that's why it took me about 9 years, but it doesn't take that long. The actual journey is about 6 to 7 months. I'd love to just work with you, especially if you've been a member of a historically marginalized society. So if you've been a woman, if you're a woman, somebody who identifies as a woman, Black, Indigenous person of color, Black, Indigenous woman of color, LGBTQI+, or my personal favorite, a high-functioning traumatic brain injury survivor. Oh, like I'm sorry, I was like getting a little teary-eyed there. I find it really hard to like do this marketing stuff because I'm not trying to market, like marketing. And I get it. I get the psychology of consumer behavior, get all of that. And it's still, for me, it's my purpose, man. I'm not trying to market. I just know, I came back from death to go through this journey because I'm here to help. So if that resonates with you, I think we should have a conversation, because we might be meant to work together. Like it just, if that resonates with you, let's talk. That's all I can say.
That is so powerful, you guys. And if it didn't resonate with you, I'm sorry, you missed out. But to those it did resonate with, you don't want to miss this opportunity. And
that's a great thing about marketing, though, right? For those that's not going to resonate with, they're already not watching. So great.
Let's talk about small business.
Yes.
Small business stimulates our economy. It does. We all know this. I've said it in previous interviews. You guys, if you guys have been watching this week, I've said it before. We all know that small business moves our market, but I think sometimes we forget about the impact that supporting a small business actually has to that business owner. So, AJ, as a small business owner, what does the American dollar do for you?
It allows me to support 5 Black women-owned businesses as a small business owner,
Including the executive assistant.
It allows me to say that with pride. It allows me to give back to my community as a board member of a Black-owned a nonprofit that was founded and run by a Black woman for young Black girls. And I'm not saying this in the diversity sense for anybody that knows me. I've been pretty open about saying if we can take care of the Black woman who has borne the burdens of 450 years of inequities, we can take care of the rest after. It's being able to maximize value across the board. It's being able to give back to the American economy. It's being able to walk that walk, because as a small business owner, for me, when I say that I am the backbone of the American economy, I mean that with every bit of my ethics, every bit of my values.
And she does. She walks the walk, she talks the talk, and I'm going to shut up about that. It's very true. And you know what's really funny is all of the business owners I gave answers like that. Not one of them mentioned being able, I mean, they mentioned being able to feed their family or support their family. Oh, but not a single business owner said anything about any type of personal gain. And I love that.
I have a little piece of advice for anybody who is a new entrepreneur and aspiring entrepreneur. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Entrepreneurship is not easy. You actually work 3-4 times what you may in corporate. You think you're your own boss, but trust me, your lead executive assistant ends up being your boss and running your life. And that's your reality. It really is. But at the end of the day, outside of all of that, what I can say is if you're getting into entrepreneurship thinking it's a way for you to make easy money, do us all a favor, get out.
Please.
You're not in this for the right reason. No successful entrepreneur that I know goes into it for the money. Sure, the money and the bills are a part of it, but they're not the part. It's always about that volcano that's about to erupt. It's about a purpose that is far greater than you, that you just feel compelled to fulfill. That has nothing to do with income. The money, every entrepreneur knows, it'll come.
I love that. I love that so much. As a new business owner who is firm in the reasons why she does the things that she does, I love that, because I'm constantly being told, you need to do this more, you need to do that more, you're not maximizing your profits. And I'm like, listen, you don't understand. I have a goal here. Yeah. And I know what I'm doing, even if I'm not doing it the way that's going to maximize my income. I don't care. I have a purpose. There's a reason that I'm doing this. And I absolutely love that you said that.
Yeah. And that being said, I will have to add one little caveat. Also, looking at all of you new entrepreneurs out there, don't undercharge yourself. Know your worth.
We're not going to get into that.
Know your true value.
We're not going to get into that conversation. That's a whole nother conversation that she's doing on purpose. That one was for me, you guys. Don't even.
It's like people are getting triggered and I don't even know why.
She knows why. with that being said, everybody, Dr. AJ, if people want to contact you, what do they need to do? How do they reach out to you?
Bat signal.
The bat signal works. All you have to do is throw up Tiffany at ajrao.com in the sky.
Yep.
We'll see it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Or the AJ Rao logo, with the inward peacock.
Yo,
that's a great one.
The point to it's the one in the middle
Just
of
point
her
to
screen.
me. I'm in there somewhere.
Right there it is. There's the logo. It's the one in the middle of her screen.
Yeah.
I absolutely love her logo, you guys.
I know. No, honestly. So Tiffany at ajrao.com is a great way. I'm sure there's like a discovery call link.
Yep, we'll make sure to put that in
ether
there
somewhere.
We'll put it in the comments above or below, depending on where you're seeing this.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm one of the easiest persons for you to get in touch with. I'm on like Facebook, I think Instagram, definitely LinkedIn. I'm there like 3 times a day because I just happen to love LinkedIn. I think I'm on Pinterest. You'd have to ask Tiffany. I'm not even sure. I know I have a Twitter account. I check it like once a year. Trust me, one of these ways I will at some point get back to you. But if it's urgent, Tiffany at ajrao.com.
There you go. That's it, you guys. I mean, she said it all. And AJ is one of our favorite interviews that we are doing because AJ is actually a client of the executive assistant. We are so proud to be on her team. We are so proud to be a part of what she does. Her mission is strong. And I have been waiting for days to do this interview because I knew she was going to say stuff that people needed to hear. So do not shortchange yourself by not connecting with her. Even if you just join her on Facebook and Instagram, she goes live 3 times a week between those 2 platforms. Soak her in, absorb her, make her a part of you. We'll worry about the one-on-one coaching later.
And understand that I have a completely corny goofball sense of humor. So that's part of the package you just have to get used to.
It is. It has been absolutely amazing chatting with you today, Dr. AJ. We thank you so much for your time. Do you have any final thoughts for us?
Yes. Inclusion is not a zero-sum game. Neither are equity and belongingness. And I've said this so many times, but it's true every single day. And if you are somebody who really, really wants to move the needle on this, believe me when I tell you that journey starts with you and it starts on the inside of you. So please take that look inside.
You guys have no idea how much I wanted those to be her last words. You saw me get excited because she didn't say it at all. And I was like, where is the zero-sum game? I was waiting for it, and I'm so glad she said it, and she is so right. Connect with Dr. AJ. Comments above or below will have her contact information. This has been Sip of Tea, and we'll catch you guys soon with another interview. Bye.